In a story nobody saw coming, and in the middle of a turbulent war, it's been announced that Pan Am has started the certification process with the FAA to fly again. But is that even possible? Stay until the end to find out. In a world where airlines come and go, where names disappear as fast as flight schedules change, there is one that never truly went away. One that's still there, on old suitcases, in classic movies, and in memories of those who grew up dreaming about flying. Pan Am. The airline with the blue globe, the symbol of an era when flying wasn't just about getting somewhere, it was an event, a dream. The future with wings. And today, when it seemed that story was locked away forever in museums and collectors' closets, news broke that nobody expected. Pan Am might actually come back. Yeah, come back. According to press reports published on October 9, 2025, Pan American Global Holdings, the company that owns the Pan Am brand, together with Aviate Air Capital, an investment and consulting firm, have taken the first official step to bring back the most iconic name in commercial aviation. They officially began the FAA certification process to become a real airline, the license that literally turns an idea into a real airline. The piece of paper that could quite literally bring back a legend to life. The plan, they say, is to set up their base in Miami, the city where it all began. With an initial fleet of Airbus A320s or Airbus A321s, they aim to connect the United States with the Caribbean and Latin America, routes that Pan Am once ruled back when the skies still had glamour and the journey was part of the destination. But of course, this won't be the first time someone tried to bring it back. Since the original Pan American World Airways shut down in 1991, there have been several attempts. The most serious one lasted from 1998 to 2004, flying all Boeing 727s and a route network that didn't make much sense, until eventually it stopped flying too. Because bringing back a legend isn't as easy as just painting a logo on a plane. Behind that name lies a huge story, an expectation. And competing in today's war against giants like American, Delta or United, or airlines like JetBlue, Frontier or Spirit that it's already fighting to survive, isn't something you can do with nostalgia. You need money, strategy and a flawless operation. But no other airline brand has the same emotional power. Pan Am wasn't just an airline. It was their American dream in the sky. It was that promise that the world was bigger, that you could go out and see it. Their planes were the first to cross the Atlantic regularly, the first to connect continents, and the first one to make flying part of our culture. So, when someone says Pan Am's coming back, something lights up in every aviation lover. A spark, a memory. Because Pan Am is in a way the root of everything that came after. But now, let's be real for a second. How possible is this new project? First of all, the Pan Am brand is owned by Pan American Global Holdings, a company we don't know much about. But when you look it up, it turns out to be an investment company based in Dubai, mainly focused on the oil business. If that's the new Pan Am, maybe there's money behind it. Meanwhile, Aviate Air Capital is a firm with solid experience. They've helped other airlines through the certification and startup process, like GlobalX and Easter Airlines. GlobalX, based in Miami, has been quite successful operating charter flights and even got some recent attention for running deportation flights from the US to Latin America. Eastern, on the other hand, hasn't had much luck. Mostly military charters and a few scheduled flights, but overall it's gone pretty much unnoticed. Getting a Part 121 Air Operator certificate, which covers large passenger aircraft operations, is not a small feat. The company has to prove that it has the manuals, maintenance programs, aircraft, experienced staff, and a serious business plan. and most importantly, capital to make it happen. And sure, the new Pan Am might have some of that. Aviate handles aircraft leasing, so getting planes and a business plan might not be too hard. But as Eastern already proved, you can't build a future on nostalgia alone. Because today's aviation world is brutal. Tiny profit margins, rising fuel prices, passengers choosing price over service, and sustainability as the new industry standard. Now imagine this: modern cabins, uniforms inspired by the classics, real human service, attention to detail, the blue globe shining again on a white tail, taking off from Miami toward the Caribbean. It will be like watching a vintage postcard come to life. But how will Pan Am really fit into that world? Can an airline born from glamour survive in the era of low-cost tickets and bare minimum service? Maybe if it understands its role, and if it finds its niche. If the new Pan Am doesn't try to be a massive global airline, but instead one with soul, focus on bringing back the feeling of flying. Because honestly, the idea of Pan Am as a low-cost carrier feels wrong. It almost cheapens the brand. But being realistic, maybe that's the only way. Or maybe something like JetBlue's model, the one that shook up the US market, could work, especially if they target a market that JetBlue never fully explored, the Caribbean and South America. But my biggest worry is that every attempt to revive Pan Am, or Eastern for that matter, has failed for the same reason. They tried to sell nostalgia without the structure. The logo was there, the ads were there, the story was there, but what's missing were the essentials: planes, money, and a real strategy. Without that, Pan Am just becomes a flying museum, beautiful but unsustainable. If they really want to do it right this time, they will have to build from the present and not from nostalgia. They will have to remember that what made Pan Am great wasn't just its image, it was its vision, that courage to look further when no one else dared to do. And if they can capture even a bit of that curiosity, that ambition, maybe, just maybe, the story can have a new chapter. One where the past and the future share the same cockpit. Where the blue globe returns to the sky not as a souvenir, but as a symbol of innovation and progress. But let's be honest, nostalgia doesn't sell tickets. Sure, avgeeks like us might buy one just to say I flew Pan Am, but the average traveler, they will go for the best price and the best service. And that's why all the previous revival attempts fail, trying to rebuild a past that just won't come back. Maybe Pan Am will never be what it once was. Maybe the world just isn't made for dreamer airlines anymore. But if it can make us, even for a moment, look up the sky with hope again, they'll be worth the effort. Because some names never really die. They just wait for the right wind to fly again. Tell us, what do you think about this news? Do you think the new Pan Am has a future? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really helps us a lot.